Dobra, zaraz zaczynamy. Powinno być wszystko ok. Ustawieniami. Udało mi się ten czat naprawić. Że teraz ja słyszę, powinno być, że ja słyszę, a wy nie w sumie. Tak wiem, zasypiony przeze mnie, bo testowałem po prostu, żeby drugi komputer działał. Laptop. Żeby laptop działał i ja mam dźwięk z laptopa. Aha, umarłem? Dobra. Siemaneczko wszystkim, z tej strony Demon Life, a to jest kolejny stream na moim kanale z Genshin Impact. Tak, z Genshin Impact, kolejny stream na moim kanale. Subskrybujcie, lajkujcie, followujcie i cokolwiek. Jak zróbmy te questy 2 i idę spać w sumie. Stream się nie zakończy, jak nie zrobię tych dwóch questów. Nahidy i Deyhi, no. A więc zostaną mi jojki, alchentama, kawek, no i poboczne te poboczne tutaj. No i jeszcze ten, eventowe. Dobra. Ale zanim to sobie zbiję tego Rezina. Dlaczego? Bo Battle Pass, a już mam połowę Battle Passa w ile zostało mi czasu? W miesiąc czasu mi zostało, czyli jak zrobię w tym tygodniu 28, 30, 40 będzie, no to za 2 tygodnie zrobię. I będą 2 tygodnie na ulepszenia postaci w sumie. Bo nie będę musiał się Battle Passem przejmować, tylko robić to, co powinienem zrobić, czyli ulepszać postacie. No, zbijemy tego Rezina. No i co? Zapraszam was do oglądania tego. Tylko tu wszystkie okna. No i okej. Chwila, bo tu mam dętno. Dobra, mamy skrzynię. Więc dzisiaj jest plan taki, jutro, nie wiem czy jutro będę streamować, jutro To jeżeli tak, to robimy pozostałe questy. Jeżeli zrobimy pozostałe questy, to pomyślimy. Na razie głównie Genshin. Ja chciałbym tego Genshina wymasterować. Tak postanowiłem. Ja wiem, moje decyzje się zmieniają co minutę, co sekundę, co chwilę, więc no. Już, muzyka.
It's gonna come down to a fight one way or another, so let's all be careful.
No need to worry. He knows his way around a fight.
I'm not worried about that. What I meant is that we probably shouldn't go too hard on the enemy. After all, we still need to get information out of him. Here they come. You ready? Let's not give them a chance to react and end this quickly.
Dobra. Walka na początku. Ale ona jest... ale damage. Damage daje. Ale mój Razor jest lepszy. No, przepraszam, mój Razor... No, nie chciałem boosta. Chciałem po prostu elemental. Znaczy nie boosta, tylko pod E, no. Zapomniałem, jak to się nazywa. Dobra.
You're the flame main.
Good. That saves me an introduction. All right. Time for a little
Buba,
talk. Are
dupsko,
you buddies
dobra,
with
nie.
the Kanalakmar now? Tell me, what are they after?
You know the code of being a mercenary just like everyone else. The first rule is to never divulge key information about our employer. What makes you think I'd
Ale
talk?
donaty nadal
That
będą
might have worked
ten
on an amateur, but I know
wyświetlane
you're just looking
i
to protect your
tolerowane ten.
reputation.
Tylko żeby tak
Think
nie
about it though.
rotowało
What's your
ciągle,
reputation
żeby
worth if you won't have
by
the
było
other tools you need
Demon
to
Life
succeed in this line of work?
powiedział.
Tools like,
Test
I don't know,
i tak
your
dalej.
limbs or
By
eyes.
takiego czegoś
You've
nie
got
było.
5 seconds. You might want to think twice about how much your employer's
A do
information is
donatów
worth to
to...
you.
No.
Whoa!
Tak,
I'm not
Paimon.
joking around. We can do this the easy way or the painful way. 2 seconds.
I'll save you the trouble.
Huh? Are you crazy? He tried to bite off his own tongue. Quick, search the area for any first aid supplies. I definitely didn't expect him to go that far. Thankfully, the wound wasn't too deep, and he just passed out from the pain.
But why would he be so extreme?
I just wanted to test his mettle. You can get a lot of mercenaries to talk just by threatening them. I didn't expect him to be willing to go through so much pain just to deny us some intel.
Bo
Well,
jak oceniam
not cool for
quest
now.
Bajzu,
We could wait for
no,
him to wake up,
mógł być
but
lepszy,
maybe it's not a
ale
good
hutało
idea to
była,
interrogate him any
więc
further.
oceniam
What
7
should
na
we
10.
do?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be a waste of time to interrogate him again after that. He might just hurt himself again if we start asking. There are lots of goods around here. Let's search the area. Maybe we'll be able to find something. I'm really sorry.
We found a piece of paper with a bunch of names on it. Maybe it's a record of something.
Let me take a look. If this really is a merchant caravan, they should have a record of their transactions. Yep. I see an entry for Dakana Lakmar right here. Kusela, Idrisi, Bashar, and Takriti. All familiar names. Dakana Lakmar has been trading for a hefty supply of food, weapons,
Ty,
and
ale
medicine.
mogę też w
It
sumie
seems that
muzyki
in the past, they
posłuchać
used to receive
w
some common
słuchawkach.
knowledge as well.
Ale
This
jestem
caravan is
genialny,
just
że
one link in their
mogę w
logistics
sumie
chain.
wszystko,
Once
jak
in the rainforest, the
mam te
caravan will
drugie
exchange the looted
słuchawki.
goods for Mora, and the funds will then be passed to a specific person. That person will then
Nie
pack the
będzie
caravan full of
odbijać
necessary goods,
dźwięku,
which
bo
will then be brought
jak
right back to
ci
Dakana Lakmar.
gracze.
Wait, why is there no Mora value recorded for the final transaction?
Ja zostawiam, bo to historia, ale i tak.
Yeah, every transaction before the last one was marked with an exact amount of Mora, but the final one, where they paid for everything to be brought back to the desert, was simply marked as delivered. Perhaps. But they couldn't have known how much they would make off selling the loot. Do they not care about profit margins at all? Anyway, the next part's the records of the goods themselves. There are a lot of entries. Everything was probably sourced from the rainforest. Huh?
What's wrong?
Shazamon Homayani?
Homoyani? You mean Dunyarzad's family? Could it just be another family with the same last name?
I'd be surprised to find someone with the exact same first and last name. Shazamon Homayani is Dunyarzad's father, and the head of the Homayani family. Just what the heck is going on here? I'm sorry, you're right. I'll consider what we found and not jump to conclusions just yet. But what this piece of paper confirms is that the Homayani family has been providing goods to Dakana Lakmar.
What if the Homayanis have been kept in the dark and don't know they've been trading with Dakana Akhmar?
That's a possibility, but if that was the case, why is this caravan specifically named Shazamon as their person of contact? They could have just as easily bought goods such as food and medicine directly from Caravan Rebot or Port Ormos. Yeah, funding violence and looting. The brigade gets the goods, and he is paid the proceeds from the sale of the loot.
But why would he do something like this? It's not like the Homayanis are in need of money.
I honestly have no idea. I've been to their estate many times, and I've never noticed anything suspicious. The only potentially large expenditure I could think of would be the treatment costs for Dunyarzad's Elazar. Maybe they borrowed a lot of Mora in the past? But that's still just a speculation. I don't think the master would stoop so low to make Mora. You're probably right. I know my lady's personality, and she wouldn't deliberately keep something like this from us.
But what should we do now? All we found is just another mystery.
If you ask me, we already have no choice but to confront her about this. I'm not worried. It's too early to make a verdict yet. I still have faith in the Homayanis. Let's go find my lady again. We'll tell her everything. If we're lucky, we can not only figure out the...
Dia.
I've considered that. She showed genuine... That's not how I deal with...
You're right. Paimon wants to...
Yeah.
I do need it on.
Are we getting close? Which way should we go next?
We just need to head a short way towards the desert. It's not far. I would recommend taking a bodyguard to protect you. If the customer does turn out to be rotten, you can let the bodyguard deal with them.
Good point. A bodyguard. Oh, look! Isn't that Sino? Sino!
Good to see you. Headed to Caravan Rebot?
Remember, Paimon? We can't just disclose a customer's information.
Huh? Oh, don't worry. This is Sumeru's General Mahamatra, Sino. He's the leader of the Matra and always takes criminal activity very seriously.
Wow. How do you know so many powerful people? You better get used to it, Kirara. You wouldn't believe the people I've met since I started traveling.
Do you have some time now, Sino?
Tournament?
Really? Then
I am now the official king of invocations. I used Forbidden Hand at the opportune moment and drew...
Great. Let Paimon catch you up on what's happening. Paimon's parched now. How many times is Paimon gonna have to explain everything?
I can accompany you. As Paimon said, it's my duty to uphold the rules and punish evil.
What do you think, Kirara? All right. I know that this customer...
Okay, we'll go.
But if we're too far away, we won't be able to hear anything you're saying. How will we know if you're in trouble?
Not a problem. You can just watch my tails.
Your tails? You mean both of them?
Of course, both of them. I'll come up with a way to have the customer confirm the contents of the package. If they turn out to be just an ordinary customer and the package doesn't contain the card backs, then I'll lower both of my tails. That'll mean you can just stay hidden. But if they turn out to be the thieves we're after, then I'll...
Lay down.
Huh? Why would she do that?
It'd be a signal that we need to lay down the law.
Oh.
No way! I'm not getting on the ground! That would be way too embarrassing! Besides, don't you think that would look suspicious?
You think so? Then maybe you can use your tails to pound your back.
And why would she do that?
Simple. It'd be signal that she had found the backs we're looking for.
Oh, this is the first time I've met someone as creative with their words as I am. Have you ever considered a career in writing news headlines, Sino?
Oh no, don't enable him!
Okay, if we keep standing around talking like this, the package is going to be late. Listen to me. If they're the thieves, I'll lift one tail up and keep the other one down. If you see that, then you can come round them up.
You're not going to lay down?
No, I'm not laying down!
Okay.
We're in the middle of nowhere, though. Are you sure this is the right place, Kirara?
Let's see. The address is approximately 100 paces down the road from Caravan Rebot towards the desert, near the first flaming flower.
That's the most suspicious address Paimon's ever heard.
Near the first flaming flower... Oh, we're here!
Huh? There aren't any houses around here.
Maybe the recipient planned on coming here to personally receive the package. I've had customers do that in the past. We're still a little early. In the meantime, why don't the rest of you go find a place to hide? And remember, watch my tails for the signal.
We'll hide here. This spot is hidden, but with a clear view.
I'm unsure this recipient's up to no good. Who'd pick up a package in a place like this?
I agree. But for the sake of her company's reputation, we'll let her tell us what to do.
Oh.
What? As in her tails?
Yeah, we get it. Hey, look! Someone's coming.
You from Komoni Express?
That's right. You must be Mr. Dada Baba?
Where's the package?
Yes, this is your package. Here you go. I recommend that you open it and confirm the contents. I've been running to many places the past few days through all sorts of weather. The contents may have shifted, so it's best to check that everything's intact.
No need. You haven't opened it to see what's inside, have you?
Of course not. That would be against our company policy. But if the contents are valuable, I would still recommend checking them first. If anything turns out to be damaged, I could compensate you now.
I said no need, didn't I? Why are you so persistent?
You know, boss, this little lady's out here all on her own.
We could use that to our advantage, you know.
Hey, you. Are you the only one delivering out here?
Yes, that's right. I wouldn't bring a bunch of people with me to deliver a package. I'm no good at lying, and I can't keep my tails from moving everywhere.
Look! She's giving a signal! But, wait, Paimon doesn't recognize that signal at all!
I nearly forgot. If you could let me know what I delivered, it would mean a lot to me.
Her tails are moving.
Her tails keep moving and intertwining. They keep pointing in different directions. Maybe she's trying to say that she mixed up her directions. These people aren't the intended recipients.
Seriously? There's no way anyone could get all that just from her tails.
Something's not right.
Oh, no, that's...
Come on, boss. Enough talk.
Yeah, nobody will ever know anything happened way out here.
Then do you have a moment to leave a 5-star review?
Sure. I'll leave a 5-star review after you're dead.
They got a knife! Forget the signals! We gotta save Kirara!
Boss, she's got backup.
What are you afraid of? Get him!
Huh? Wait, that's Sino!
Co to są te rany tego silnik fizyczny, to co
Kirara, are you alright?
I'm fine. Don't worry.
Had I known you were here, we wouldn't have.
Too late for that. And I don't want to hear any whining from you two either. Clear?
Yes. Crystal clear. General Mahamatra, I don't want to go to prison. Can't you just let us off this one time?
That depends on how honest you are.
We'll tell you everything.
What's inside the package?
Card backs. Genius Invocation TCG card backs that we collected from different nations.
Are they the kind with...
Yeah, that's right. Wait, how'd you know that? We're just a group of treasure...
Some hoarders...
Go on.
They wanted to pull off something big.
all across...
Yeah, we were after pulling off a job like that. Everyone would recognize us treasure hoarders as the most powerful organization across the world. But, seems...
So what does any of that have to do with these card backs?
Well, the problem was we didn't know how to communicate our master plan to all the other treasure hoarders. But with how popular Genius Invocation TCG has become...
So you were the ones who printed these...
Yeah, first you bury it so no one else can take it, then just add a little bit of...
Hey, shut it! You're giving away all our plans.
It appears you consider this ridiculous plan of yours more valuable than your own life.
No, I'll talk. All you need to do is cover it with somewhat... And it'll look like this.
My fellow hoarders, this is the big job we've all been waiting for. Take up your daggers, put on your masks, and round up your sumpter beasts. Oh, and for those of you without sumpter beasts... Seriously? That's all it says? Ugh.
Hey, what do you mean, waste? That message will mobilize the treasure hoarders.
Paimon. Oh, there it is.
Objectively speaking, it's definitely a creative method of
I
communicating
teraz
information.
lecę.
But then why were you trying to retrieve these card backs?
It's all because some fellow hoarders got addicted to Genius Invocation. All they needed to do was stick to the but that wasn't the worst of it.
Not just the ones on the markets. We collected all our treasure chest card backs and we had them shipped. We feared that our plan... But to take every precaution, we raised funding for everyone.
Huh? So the senders would stay at their original location. Now that I think about... Oh, right.
There. I told...
You'll each receive your... I've taken care of the criminals for now. I'll be escorting them back to... I was only fulfilling my duty. You all did well.
Sino seems like a completely different person when he's working.
All right. Goodbye for now.
Oh, wait! I still want to interview the champion of the Sumeru Regional Tournament!
All right. Go ahead.
Tell me, Mr. Sino, what were your thoughts about the tournament? And did you have anything to say about the treasure hoarder incident?
Genius Invocation TCG is a very good game. But to me, it's not just a game. It's an art form. It allows people to meet others, make friends, and experience the joy of dueling together. I hope everyone can have the chance to experience the fun of playing this game.
Great answer. That'll be a perfect ending for my news piece.
Therefore, I assure you that I will personally bring judgment to any criminals out there with the delusions of desecrating this game with their evil plans. No matter where you run or where you hide, you will not escape the punishment of lightning.
Oh, I see. Let's stay calm. No need to get worked up. Now let me think. Not so genius thieves behind mysterious treasure chest card back plot finally...
Got decked? You get it? Like cards and punching?
Yes, that'll work nicely.
These two make quite the team when it comes to words.
If that's all, then I should get going. I'll inform the other areas not to be gamed by these thieving treasure hoarders. We will.
So in the end, it turned out that the group of card snatchers we were tracking was the treasure hoarders all along. Still feels a little disappointing, though. Paimon thought for sure those card backs would lead us to some valuable treasure.
Don't say that. Think of the bright side. We uncovered a major international crime scheme. Oh, I definitely have everything I need for my exclusive news piece.
If anything, Paimon regrets that we didn't get to see the mysterious inventors of...
It seems everyone can't stop talking about that game. In that case, how would everyone like to join me for a very special delivery?
Huh? You mean it's related to Genius Invocation TCG?
Mm-hmm. That's right. You'll understand when we get there. I would have invited Sino along too if he wasn't busy with work.
Oh, really? But didn't you say before that you can't disclose customer information?
Yeah, but this time the situation's different. Let's just say this delivery wasn't assigned. This package had been sitting at the company for some time because we could never locate the recipient.
Oh, so the company eventually took...
Yep. The whole...
But can't you just return it to the original sender?
Well, it...
Oh, that's...
Yeah. And I thought both the original sender and intended recipient would be disappointed if this package is... So, I took the initiative and started asking around Sumeru in my free time. Eventually, I found out where the recipient...
Wow!
Well, I have a feeling that it'll be good to have some
Oh, sounds like an...
Huh? Oh, now Paimon's really curious. What do you think, Traveler? Shall we join her?
All right, then follow me.
I smell rabbit.
Sometimes you just need to give up an unrealistic dream.
The clues pointed to Vamara Village, but I'm not sure of which house they live in. Guess we'll have to ask around.
Any idea what the recipient...
I only know his name is Garvapidum, and that he's a scholar from the Academia.
Garvapidum. Got it. Hi there.
Oh, yes, there...
Sounds like he doesn't know. Hey there! We're looking for a scholar named Garvapidum.
Garvapidum? I never heard of him. Wait, do you mean that newcomer that arrived a few days ago?
Oh, someone just moved here?
Yes, that's right. He looked pretty anxious, though, almost like he's struggling to complete a thesis. I've seen him speaking with the village head, probably looking for a place to stay. Vamara Village is the perfect place to take a vacation and relax, which is why I chose to come back here.
Got it, thank you. We'll go talk to the head of the village.
Don't mention it. If life is ever true.
About.
Yes, that's me. Go ahead.
Do you know where a scholar by the name of Garvapitum lives?
Garvapitum?
You know him?
Yes, I do, but hardly anyone. I don't know if...
Yeah, you...
Our tails are moving again. Is that what happened?
Ah, I see. I was thinking that it'd be good for some friends to... He's staying up above. Look for the...
Great! Thank you very much!
Don't mention it. I just want to see people who come here be happy.
This is the place. Let's try knocking. Hello? Anybody home?
Yes,
Hello, Mr. Garvapitum.
a package. For me.
Yes, it's from a...
What? Gulab? But how is that possible?
Yes, it seems your friend submitted the package...
Friend? Some friend I am. There was nothing I could do about his illness.
Don't say that.
Say what? He's one of the creators of
Why? Why does it seem that misfortune always befalls geniuses like him?
If you don't mind, perhaps you could talk to us about it. It would probably help you feel better.
You're right. Maybe I should tell you. You really wouldn't mind listening? All right then. I knew Gulab ever since we were... Other than the bandages on his arms, you could hardly tell he had... Later, we both entered the academia.
If I remember correctly, that's a pretty high...
But before long, after that, he became... I would go see him and...
He must have been worried that...
I know. We would have some... Over time, those cards became the basis for Genius Invocation TCG. It's not only a game. When we were designing it, I was originally...
Aw, don't be sad. Not to mention, a lot of people are enjoying it.
After he passed, but every time I looked up, all I could see was his silhouette. I know it was all in my head, though.
Paimon.
Yes, everyone else has told me that I have to move on and embrace, but to be honest...
Garvapitum? Perhaps you should see what your friend sent you in the package.
Right. What's this? A letter?
My dear friend, you must be wondering why I'm leaving you a letter like this. It's because...
Hey, Gulab, I'm here. How are you feeling today? I gotta tell you, I had an idea for another card last night. Huh? What's that you're writing?
It's nothing.
Okay. Anyway, up for a game?
You don't have to visit every day, you know. You should be focusing on your work at the academia.
Hey, enough of that. I'll keep visiting until you've fully recovered. Besides, I can't stand most of the folks at the academia anyway. Hey, it's your turn. Gulab, are you okay?
Garvapitum, you must understand. My Elazar.
Hey, don't talk like that. You just... need some more rest.
It's because you won't come to terms with the fact that I don't have long left. Guess what? This game we invented is getting pretty popular here in the hospital.
Really? That's great news.
Yeah. I've even made a device to help people find other players nearby. Here, this one's for you. This way, you'll be able to keep playing even after I'm...
Just stop! You're gonna get better, you hear me? I don't need this thing. I don't want it!
I imagine the casket of tomes I gave you is probably gathering dust in a corner somewhere. So, this is my last gift to you. I'm sorry that I could only give it to you now. Do you remember when we first met? You were the only one willing to be friends with the kid with Elazar. Now, it's my turn to help you make some new friends. This way, I'll always be by your side, my friend.
Gulab. That rascal. He was always this way.
I haven't played much Genius Invocation myself. All I know is that it has brought joy to a lot of people.
As a true TCG player put it, the game allows many people to meet others, make friends, and experience the joy of dueling together.
That's right! We've seen that firsthand on our journeys recently. Paimon can tell you those stories if you're interested.
Thank you all for your kind... You're right. I've always kept your... It was so... If he were here now, I know... Hey, friends. How about a game of Genius Invocation TCG? Well, what do you say?
Garvapitum seems to be feeling better. Paimon even saw him crack a smile when he was playing just now.
It always takes time to heal from pain from the past, but I think this is a good start for his road to recovery.
Yeah, It was a good thing that Kirara kept track of that package, even when they were unable to deliver it.
When my boss asked me to take care of it, I had a feeling that it must somehow be delivered. I couldn't just let it be abandoned.
Would you say that was your yokai intuition kicking in?
Maybe, I'm not sure. I guess I just didn't want to let the center's sentiment go to waste like that.
Anyway, I think this is where we'll say goodbye.
Oh. Are you going back to Fontaine now?
That's right. Who would have guessed that I'd still get such a quality story after the tournament had finished? It's going to take me a few days just to draft the articles alone. Oh, by the way, I still haven't had the chance to interview you two all this time. After all that we've witnessed on this journey together, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah! You could say the best thing we got out of this adventure was the new friends we made.
I understand. I'll be sure to work your comments into my exclusive news piece. Just be sure to buy a copy of the Steambird when you visit Fontaine.
And I should get ready to head back to Inazuma. I still have to report everything to my boss.
Will do. I'm sure we'll all see each other again soon. And maybe we'll play Genius Invocation TCG if we have the chance.
Oh.
There's something that I'm very concerned about. Yes. I didn't mention it just now, but do you remember when I told you that the power in the crystal is very similar to mine, yet also different? The elemental power inside the crystal is completely identical to that of the fungus. What? Exactly. The prophecy that it mentioned was probably an agreement that I made with an elemental life form that once represented its race. I had to deal with the forbidden knowledge to save their homeland. The process, however, took away some of my memories. That sequence of events would explain the persistent feeling that I had unfinished business. Makes sense. Too bad it's unable to tell us more. Yeah. I've been trying to think of a place that fits the description of its homeland, but I'm unable to come up with anything. Agreed. I really want to send them home, so they won't have to wander around anymore.
The road here is a little rough. I'll lead the way.
Don't worry, Paimon can handle any road! Ah!
Can't breathe.
Adorn my night! One with nature.
Amazing. With such skills, you all would have definitely been able to find a way to survive the apocalypse.
Hey! Paimon has been meaning to ask. You all didn't originally look like this, did you?
No, we didn't. The appearance of our kind will change according to the environment. After communicating with various living organisms in Sumeru, we discovered that fungi are the life form most adapted to live in these lands. Thus, we gradually took the form of fungi and became a part of their group.
It's hard to believe that's even possible.
The most important instinct any life form possesses is adapting to the environment. I don't think that should surprise you, Paimon. Your hand is shaped like that for a reason, so you are able to grip and use tools more easily. The reason why fungi absorb elemental power is to blend with the environment and fend off natural predators. We are dendro life forms, one of the most ancient life forms in this land. That is why we are so adaptable.
So you mean, if Paimon wanted to, Paimon could change into a different form as well?
Not as freely, I'm afraid. You would require a long time to make that happen. Although this is common sense to us, it is still extremely difficult to explain. Putting it as simply as possible, changing form requires energy, and energy comes with time. You cannot make a sprout grow into a giant tree instantly, nor can you force a tree to bear fruit overnight.
I see. Humans have a term for this. It's called growth. Ah, you're so smart, Nahida! Paimon gets it now!
Growth. I see. Yes, then this is what you would call growth. A most beautiful word. I shall enjoy it more as we walk.
How much farther is it?
We're about halfway there. You're doing great, Paimon. Do you need me to carry you on my back?
Huh? Oh no! Paimon was just curious! Paimon isn't that tired. You seem to enjoy taking care of others.
You think so? Does the Lord of Dendro need to be carried?
That would be awkward, wouldn't it? Why don't you fly up and sit on top of my head? We can figure out who will carry who later! We have hostages here!
I think we may have a different understanding of carrying someone. No matter whether it's tired or not, my child is always happy when I put it on my back and give it a ride.
Child? You mean the fungi we ran into earlier?
Yes, one was my friend, and the other was my child.
Why can't your kid speak?
Because it's just a fungus. I don't want my presence to change or affect the original state of the fungi species here. However, it is slightly different from an ordinary fungus. It seems to understand some human language, so I gave it a name.
Oh, then it must be a really cute name. You know, like Bongo Head.
You have an odd taste for names.
Huh? Paimon thinks that name is great! Strange and cute at the same time. It's a name only Paimon would be able to come up with. That's right.
The name I came up with was not as creative as Paimon's. I learned it from an adventurer. Its name is... I'm sorry, but I've forgotten. Seems like I've forgotten many important things. Yes, I must remember it before I return. It's just as important as my homeland. Yes, this way. We're almost there.
It's the withering.
Yes, I have heard humans also call it that before. It's the last form we take when we are at the end of our life.
Paimon doesn't understand. It's trying to say that when they've suffered enough and reached the end of their life, they become a tumor of the withering.
Yes, I would have also suffered the same fate if it wasn't for the Lord of Dendro's help.
So, this is how the withering is formed? Previous research has revealed that forbidden knowledge is the root cause of the withering. But even if forbidden knowledge has been completely removed, its influence still remains, which is why the withering remains even after forbidden knowledge has disappeared. They've been tormented by forbidden knowledge for a long time. It's understandable that they will eventually become the withering. But what a sad and pitiful end.
When I left my homeland, flowers like these filled the fields. Each bloom represented an individual life. They grew in the pristine lakes, in the fertile soil, in my home, and in the homes of my friends. They grew everywhere, until the world suddenly lost all its color and became tainted and murky. But it's all right. Our life essence, elemental power, still resides in this flower. After an adventurer clears the withering, I will quietly draw near the area. If I can sense the elemental power of my companions, then I take them with me.
But that would mean the effects of forbidden knowledge could have...
It's okay. That's not important anymore. I just hope that they can all make it back home. It's not right to leave them to simply perish in the open like this. Now that we finally have the chance to return home, each one I manage to bring back will make me that much happier.
I understand. Just leave it to us. So you're worried about me? It's fine. Forbidden knowledge doesn't exist anymore. It's natural to want to be overcautious when dealing with a highly venomous snake, but when all that's left is its skeleton, there's nothing to worry about. Paimon doesn't get what you two are talking about, but we're all ready to go now, right? Then let's do this! We've dealt with the withering countless times already!
As one with wind and cloud.
Grow!
I kill you.
No life lasts forever.
Take me back.
We're back, my lady.
Oh, you're back a lot sooner than I expected. You mustn't have run into any trouble then. Well, how did it go? What did you come up with?
Actually, we're still investigating. It's just that we've discovered something strange.
I see. The clues you found have led you back here, in the city?
Something like that. Yeah.
You all look a little dispirited. Whatever you found must not have been very encouraging after all. Why don't you discuss it with me? Maybe I'll be able to say something to cheer you up?
It's okay, my lady. It's not so much about me being upset with my father or anything like that. How should I put this?
So something is wrong. Even the Traveler and Paimon have been uncharacteristically quiet. On any other day, Paimon would have already waved to me with a smile and shouted, "Dunyarzad, we're back!" So tell me, what happened?
Well?
My lady, please prepare yourself for what we're going to tell you next. It concerns the Master.
The Master? You mean my father? Okay, I understand. Don't worry about me. I'll listen as attentively as I can. My father has been supplying goods to Dakan al-Akmar?
Yeah, it makes as little sense to us as it does to you. I've never doubted the Master's integrity, so I'm having a real hard time rationalizing how he could ever support an infamous brigade like them. Maybe he's not actually aware of the full story and just stumbled into the deal by accident.
I can't help but agree with the Traveler.
Huh? You mean you feel the same way, Dunyarzad?
Thank you for sharing all this information with me. Since you've told me everything you know, I should also tell you about some doubts that I've been harboring for quite a while. In the past, I thought that my father hired a bodyguard for me so that I wouldn't run away and get lost. However, there are plenty of capable mercenaries in the Corps of 30. Why did my father go out of his way to hire Deyhi?
About that. Well, the Homayanis really needed bodyguards, so they reached out to the Blazing Beasts. Later, the Master told me that I was one of the best mercenaries he'd ever seen, and that I should stick around to become one of his bodyguards. He offered me a pile of mora, so I just signed on.
Well, but that didn't really answer my question. Just think about it. Why did my father specifically reach out to the Blazing Beasts?
Maybe the Corps of 30 just didn't have anyone available, or maybe someone recommended us. I've never given it too much thought. I think I get what you're saying. You'd think none of this was a coincidence.
Precisely. At first glance, nothing seems strange or out of place. But there are many parts of the story that don't actually make any sense. If my father had always been in contact with the Khan al-Akmar, then it would make sense for him to bring Dia into our house.
You mean the goal all along was to get Dia to be your bodyguard?
No, that's too much of a stretch. I cut all ties with my father a long time ago. He has no control over my life anymore.
But that still doesn't rule out the possibility that your father has still been trying to influence your life without you knowing.
So, the Master was not likely an innocent victim in all of this?
Sorry we put all this on you so suddenly, Dunyarzad.
It's okay, Paimon. I should actually be thanking you. Regardless of his reasons, if my father has truly been funding a violent group of mercenaries, then it's my duty to bring him back to reason.
But is that really the right thing to do? My father has committed many atrocities and deserves all the punishment that he has coming to him. I have zero sympathy for him. You may call me an ungrateful child, but my feelings will remain the same. However, the Homayani family has treated me with nothing but generosity and kindness. If we decide to investigate this further, we could end up implicating the entire Homayani family. I would be biting the hand that's fed me over all these years.
Dia.
It's alright, Dia. If anyone were to ask, you could always just say that I'm the one who instructed you to get to the bottom of this.
You don't have to do that, my lady. I'm not conflicted because I'm afraid of taking responsibility. Besides, you're the one we should all be worried about right now.
Hey, it's still too early to give up hope. What was the thing about friendship again? Right, yeah, trust! You said that yourself, Dia. Besides, there's no point on getting all riled up before we've confirmed all the facts.
Thank you, everyone. That makes a lot of sense. I guess I should always remember the trust that I've placed in people. In which case, my lady, could you ask the Master to come out and have a chat with us?
Sure thing. I also hope he'll be able to give us a logical explanation. Let's meet at the usual place then.
Usual place? Ah, right!
Thank you for coming, sir. Please allow me to introduce these two. This is the Traveler, and next to him is his travel companion, Paimon.
Ah, yes. My daughter has mentioned them from time to time. It's a privilege to finally meet them in person. But we may skip all the pleasantries for now. What is the important matter you wish to discuss with me today?
Well, we wanted to bring this transaction record to your attention. There's something on this record that we're all pretty curious about.
So, that's what you found. Huh. Seems like I can't keep everything from you much longer.
If you wouldn't mind, we'd like an explanation.
Well, It's a long and difficult story. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. What I do know, though, dear, is that the truth will bring you no solace. If anything, it will likely cause you a great amount of anguish.
Wait, me?
Yes, I understand perfectly why you came to see me. And I am touched by your collective commitment to do the right thing. But knowledge always comes at a price. And sometimes, as they say, ignorance is bliss. Your father, Kusela, and I both believed that. Of course, you have the right to seek and learn the truth, but I must warn you. The facts of this matter may reduce everything you've built for yourself into sand, blowing in the wind. If you must proceed, then Kusela's heartfelt efforts will also fade into the wind like a fleeting mirage.
His heartfelt efforts? I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not sure I follow. I've made it this far in life without a single drop of my father's support. I have my own ideals and ways of looking at the world, as well as people and causes that I've chosen to cherish and fight for. None of these things have anything to do with him. I came here today to support you as the head of the Homayani family. No warning will change my stance on that.
I understand. Then let me tell you a little story. Our family once needed to take a trip to the desert when Dunyarzad was just a baby. Along the way, we were attacked by bandits. They had superior numbers and quickly overpowered our bodyguards. When all seemed lost, a group of passerby Eremites lent us their support. Those Eremites were Kusela's brigade, Dekan al-Ahmar. Kusela's men told me that the attackers were Eremite mercenaries, just like themselves. I was shocked. Why would Dekan al-Ahmar go so far to save us and not spare the fellow Eremites? Kusela was grinning and walked over to play with baby Dunyarzad. She was startled by his unfamiliar face and nearly started crying.
Really? I never knew.
He said that he had no particular reason to help us. He just took pity on us because he had a daughter about the same age. We started talking about our children, and I sensed that he was a devoted father. To repay his kindness, I hired his brigade to help out at our estate for a time, and offered everyone generous remuneration.
So, that's what happened.
It was many years before I saw him again. I almost didn't recognize him the next time he came knocking on my door. The man I knew to be strong and healthy had been reduced to a shell of himself. He couldn't even walk anymore without his cane.
So, what happened to him? He was perfectly fine when I left the brigade.
I'm not too sure myself. The only thing that didn't change was his cheery disposition. He said there was absolutely nothing to worry about and that he had gotten into a fight. That was all. He then suddenly asked me if Dunyarzad, now that she had grown, would need a bodyguard of her own. At the time, Dunyarzad was going through a particularly severe bout of her Elazar. There was no need for her to have a bodyguard when she could barely leave the house. But he kept coming back to the topic. Come on, it never hurts to be safe. How do you know a bodyguard won't come in handy one day? I was completely lost at first, until he recommended the Blazing Beasts, and in particular, a mercenary named Deyhi.
So he was the one who recommended Deyhi to you.
Indeed. He didn't say it out loud, but it was clear that he saw Deshret's relics as an evil group who would eventually corrupt every member in their ranks. He was already beyond redemption, but he hoped that he would be able to detach his daughter from the vicious world of mercenary life. If Deyhi could stay in my house and keep working as a bodyguard, then gradually her affinity for the desert would decrease, and she'd be able to leave her previous life behind.
And that's why you offered her such generous compensation?
Yes, but not just because of that. From the moment that he asked me for that favor, I also began to see Deyhi as my own daughter. And that's also why I tried to persuade you to stay when you asked for permission to leave. I was willing to spend however much it took. Kusela saved my daughter and I all those years ago in the desert. I could never refuse him entrusting his daughter to me.
He was always like that, acting like he's oh so smart and self-righteous.
Kusela said that he'd reimburse me for a portion of Dia's fees. I refused to take any mora from him, but he'd always send me funds anyway. Eventually, I just accepted them as a token of his gratitude. And that went on for a while until I received another letter from him a few years ago. The letter contained a request to help him buy food, weapons, medicine, and even explosive materials.
Wait! Isn't that around the time that Dekana Al-Akhmar started becoming more aggressive?
That's right. When I started to hear some nasty rumors, I became wary. I wanted to meet him face to face to discuss things. But by then, he was no longer receptive to my requests to talk. If I had to guess, it's probably because he doesn't want to put Dia at risk. That thought occurred to me as well. I figured that he probably came to me for help because he had nobody else to turn to. After some deliberation, I decided to send him some food and medicine. I turned down all his requests for explosives and weaponry. I am aware that even such a reduced gesture of support could lead to others coming to harm, but I could not simply reject his plea for help. In the end, it probably was the wrong decision. I plugged my ears to the rumors and just chose a solution that made me feel least guilty about myself.
If you can, please tell me where he is now. None of the things he's doing right now make any sense if he's just trying to keep me from getting tangled up in his world. If all he wants to do is steer clear of me, then maybe he shouldn't have brought me into this world in the first place.
Oh no. Dia, please don't feel that way.
I'm just angry because I can't wrap my head around any of his actions. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think I can do it. But I guess you do have a point. We haven't uncovered the whole truth yet. We still need to figure out his exact actions and reasoning for these last few years.
I'll do my best to help. Of course, anything between the two of you would need to be resolved between you and him alone. I don't know Kusela's exact whereabouts. Outside of supplying his brigade with some goods, I tried my best to avoid getting involved any further with him. However, there's a man on the list named Jawed. He used to be a mercenary in the desert and is now a member of the Corps of 30. He's responsible for supplying weapons and liaising with the Dekhan al-Akhmar's merchant caravan. I think he should know Kusela's whereabouts. I've heard that he likes to have a few drinks alone and enjoy the cool wind at night outside the tavern. Maybe you'll be able to find him there.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Then I guess this is bye for now, unless...
I'll stay and be with my father here. To be honest, I'm still a little dazed and haven't finished processing everything quite yet. My father has indeed done something wrong, but if I think about it, I'm also not sure if there was a right way to handle this problem. I feel like our only course of action is to turn everything we know over to the Corps of 30 and let them render judgment.
Yes. I am prepared to accept whatever verdict they choose. It's time to face my mistakes.
are you guys?
I know what you've been up to. Smuggling weapons to violent brigades in the desert while working for the Corps? Pretty bold, if you ask me.
Shh! Keep your voice down. How do you know all that? Come with me. We should take this elsewhere. I'll be happy to talk things over once we're somewhere private. This place should do. All right, back to my question. How did you all know about me?
Don't worry about that for now. You know what kind of punishment you'll face once we report you to the Corps, I assume.
Wait, there's no need to jump the gun. Let's talk this out. What are your terms?
So what's in it for you anyway, Mora?
Well, I was a little tight on money at the time, and Kusela took good care of me in the past. I waited in my mind, and I couldn't find a reason to turn the opportunity down. I wouldn't only be helping my benefactor, but I could also make some quick Mora.
Let me tell you how it is. We're investigating Khan al-Akmar, and we're gonna put an end to their operations. If you provide some help for us, then we might just put in a good word later to reduce the terms of your punishment.
Hey, why don't we discuss this a little first? Listen, I made quite a bit of Mora from my last run. You just give me a number, and I'm sure we can...
Shut it. My patience is running out. You should know when a mercenary is after something other than money.
All right, sheesh. But you gotta promise you'll put in some nice words for me later. They're always on the move. Here's the spot they were at the last time I made my delivery to the desert. Feel free to go have a look. I'm just telling you though, it's not on me if they're not there anymore.
Sure. And then you can forget about any nice words from us.
Hey, come on. Now you're just being unreasonable.
Really? And how do I know you're not leading us straight into a trap? Don't forget, you're the one with no bargaining chips.
All right, I get it. Why don't you go take a look, and if they're not there anymore, I'll try to figure out something else for y'all.
Now that's more like it. Let's move. And as for you, try to stick around the city until we get back. You don't want us to call the folks from the Corps and have them drag you back to the city. Seems like we're in luck. That should be their camp right up ahead. Let's go. We'll finally get to the bottom of this ourselves. I'm here to see Kusela. Tell him to get out here.
Tia, why are you here?
Ow! I'm going in! Right here, right now.
The wind knows me.
Haven't you all done enough?
Oh, so are you also here to stop us?
Stay out of this. It's got nothing to do with you.
Emerge.
Let's get it on!
Everybody stand back!
You asked for it. Look alive!
Oh, she's so strong.
Enough fighting. We all know each other, and I don't want to take things too far. Just bring Kusela to me. There's no use hiding him anymore. Did you understand a single word I just said? Or do I need to bash your skull in some more?
All right, everyone, let's all just calm down for a second. Deyhi, the boss can't come out and see you anymore. He died a long time ago.
What?
Seems like you've been out of the loop for a while. Guess that's for the best, though. At least, that's what the old man wanted.
When did he die? What happened to him?
A few years ago, Kusela broke up Dakan al-Ahmar and went to the Deshret's Relics headquarters by himself.
So is that when you guys started acting up?
We would prefer to call it taking revenge. Every last person in Deshret's Relics must pay in blood for what they did.
Let me start from the beginning. Deyhi, do you know how the head of the relics maintained order internally?
Overwhelming strength and unquestionable authority?
Those were a part of it, yes. But just those on their own weren't enough. They had another tool at their disposal. They called it a person's record. Regardless of whether they joined by their own will or were coerced, every person in Deshret's relics were forced to leave a record of themselves at headquarters. Whether it be their deepest sin, some unforgivable act, or their most immoral exploit, the record served both as a symbol of loyalty and the perfect material for black. That's precisely it. Every one of us have a record. Me, Bashar, Tikriti, and all the boys who grew up with Deyhi and ended up joining our ranks. But you, Deyhi, you were never asked to provide a record, were you?
I never even knew this was a requirement.
You were probably the only person in all of Deshret's relics who didn't know about it.
Ever since you were born, Boss had been trying to shield you from this organization's sinister rules. Not only that, but he also banned all of us from committing any nefarious acts. He said he'd take care of the dues we had to pay regularly to headquarters. But in the end, he was just an ordinary person. What could he do? He was forced to go to headquarters again and again to account for missed dues and incomplete records. He'd come up with all kinds of excuses and get beaten up as a result.
We all knew he was doing that for you. He wanted to get you out of this world, no matter what it took.
And that's why he became a shell of himself and couldn't walk without a cane.
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. I didn't know about any of this, and I'd never seen him get injured or beaten.
Because you were too young at the time. How would you ever tell between wounds from a beating and wounds from battle? When you left home after that final argument with him, he seemed to age by a decade overnight. Even his hair went gray.
So, even the blazing beasts were...
Yep. It was all his doing. Had he not arranged them to come to you, you probably would have been reduced to a pulp before you ever left the desert.
A few years ago, Boss said he needed to make another trip to headquarters. He was already pretty weak then, and we all assumed he was going to get beaten again. I suggested that he hand the role of leadership over to me, but he said there was no longer any need, since the Khan al-Ahmar would soon be no more. His words made no sense to me, but that night, we heard that a massive fire tore through headquarters and razed everyone's records to ash.
Everyone gained their freedom that night. Many members fled, not just from our ranks, but from the other brigades as well. But how could we leave with a clear conscience? All of us who knew exactly what had happened.
The boss can't have just died for nothing. Those heartless jerks at headquarters took him from us.
From that point on, the sole purpose of the Khan al-Ahmar became revenge. The big fire that boss started was quite a blow to headquarters' strength. It's given us the opportunity to launch our attack. Even though we're outnumbered, we vowed to see our revenge through to the very end. There were people from headquarters who changed their names and went into hiding. Some fled to other brigades, and others escaped to the rainforest. But we won't let any of them escape our wrath. They'll all pay for what they've done.
We've suffered plenty of losses as well. To keep going, we need an enormous amount of supplies, from food and medicine to weaponry and explosives. All we can do is exchange our loot from Mora, and then use that to get supplies. We forged Boss's handwriting and sent out many letters to his former friends. Thankfully, many people were willing to come to our aid. We were also able to attract many mercenaries who shared our goal. We've endured unspeakable pain to win many impossible battles. Deshret's relics have become weaker and weaker, and now we finally have an opportunity to directly strike their headquarters.
Paimon doesn't know what to say anymore.
We do know right from wrong, but we were sinners from the very beginning. We do not deserve the freedom that the boss won for us with his life. Boss always loved his old-fashioned hero stories. Those tales about sacrificing yourself to save the world. We used to always laugh at him for it. But in the end, he really went and lived those stories out himself. As for me, I never considered myself a hero. We're all the lowest of the low. We have no right to even imagine such an existence. But maybe those hero stories he liked foreshadowed everything that was to come. The spirit of the hero touched all those he had saved, and more people joined his cause. Maybe we were all just acting along with the play in the beginning. But as we acted the parts and recited the lines, we were drawn in. And now, we want to see the story through to the end. I'm sorry, Dia. I know you always found us insufferable ever since you were young. Just think of this as a madman ranting.
I'll go with you.
Huh? Dia? You wanna go with them?
I grew up with these guys, and I know they're not bad people. It's just that some situations get so bad that it's difficult to tell good from evil. All I know is that Deshret's relics must be destroyed. Furthermore, I want to go see the place for myself. I want to know if my father is still there. I know you don't want to get involved in this, so there's no need for you to tag along. I can do this on my own.
Yeah, Paimon feels like we'd only regret it if we don't see this through to the end.
Thank you. We'll be a lot stronger together with you.
I bet Boss would lose his mind if he ever knew you'd join us at the very last moment like this.
Considering all the losses and injuries we sustained, we can't afford to turn down someone as powerful as you.
He can think whatever he wants. But the fact is, I owe him this much.
Lupica! My Lupica!
Is this the entrance? We sure didn't run into much trouble on the way here. Wow. Paimon didn't expect it to look like this on the inside.
They should all be holed up in here. Don't know how many people they've got left, though.
Who cares? We'll round up all of them.
Still,
Zaraz
we should be
wracam.
careful. Even if they've only got one shot left, it could still take us out.
Yeah, we'll know what they're really capable of once we've landed some hits on them. Deshret's relics may have been a force to be reckoned with before, but their name means nothing now.
Yeah, they don't stand a chance with you here. I'll take the lead. I've been here once before.
My people are used to the desert life, but still, I hope that one day they'll be able to find an oasis of their own and leave the sandstorms behind for a better life. We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss.
One with nature. I'll take my leave.
Right here. Emerge. Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's light it up!
How regretful.
The wind knows me.
Need. Need. Take that! I'll take that. Feeling lucky today?
Gloves off!
You want this? I'll be back.
This way, follow me. We're almost there.
Wait! They went charging ahead without checking for any traps!
Hey, you guys okay?
It seems like we just got trapped in here. Don't think we triggered anything else.
Watch out, the enemy's coming from ahead.
Well, now that things have come to this, seems we'll have to fight our way through.
Don't worry about us. We knew something like this could happen. Go and take a look around. There could still be another way through. Let's go! We can't let the boss down!
Let's check if there's another way! The sooner we can make it through to help them, the better!
Let's see. I think I see a way through over there, but it's being blocked by something. Let's try our luck with that mechanism.
Okay, let's go!
Another mechanism like the one before, but this one's being blocked off in the middle.
We just need to adjust it a little.
Into the wind. Fallen leaves. Adorn my...
Right now, right here. I'm always watching. Emerge.
Let's get it on!
Everybody stand back! Wind strike. Right here. Emerge. Right here.
You asked for it.
Look alive! Cha! Ah! Cha!
I wasn't expecting anyone to make it through from the other side. But as a desert dweller, I suppose we should be used to our folks defying all expectations.
Don't waste your breath. You have nowhere to run.
Run? Had I wanted to run, I would have fled 1,000 times already. I witnessed the golden age of Deshret's relics. Even if I could leave this place behind, all that awaits me now are endless days of humiliation and ruin. Even now, my brothers and I still believe in one thing. The greatest should never live to remember their fall.
So you want to go out in a blaze of glory?
Let us draw our weapons! We will show them the true power King Deshret bestowed upon his followers. They are but two, while we hold within ourselves the entirety of the relic's glory. Wave 1, charge! Eliminate them!
One with nature. One with wind and cloud.
Nothing lasts forever. Right now, right here, right now.
Go in! You're dead meat!
I don't think that you've won. We're just getting started.
Now you're testing my patience.
King Deshret will not abandon any one of his followers.
I taste blood.
Testing my patience.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Clouds high. The birds call. Wind strike.
Right here, right now, right...
You asked for it.
Brothers! With me, this is where we prove our faith.
Do you all just want to die?
None of us plan to leave this place alive!
Raise the storm! Where do you think you're going?
Lord of Sand, your sacrifice is ready.
Goodbye. But we'll meet again.
The golden slumber.
The commander has finally fallen.
But they're still coming at us! This place is like a gladiator's ring. They just keep coming no matter how many we beat!
Yes, keep fighting! There's no need to fear, and no need to back down! This is our last stand!
When the next wave comes, try to draw away their attacks. I'm going to see if I can take out that high platform.
Get out of my way!
Come and face me, Michel! So they've broken through the front as well.
Apologies, Lord Michel. They fight like absolute madmen! No matter how much we throw at them, they just keep coming for more!
So, it would seem like this is the end.
Time to pay for everything you've done, Michel.
You think I would give you that opportunity? I will be buried in the sand alongside all the rest of our fading glory.
Hey, wait!
We were too late.
It's over. There's no more need to fight. But if you're still going to cling on to your so-called mercenary's pride, then I'll give you all a good beating as well.
Hey, dear! I found the mechanism. I'll get you all back up here right away.
Let's go.
Who are you filthy rats? And why are you always pestering us?
You call yourself a member of the infamous Deshret's relics and you still can't even tell who's made it all the way to your headquarters?
Who knows what intent a bunch of rats may have? We try to catch a couple, and you all just show up on the other side instead. How are we supposed to figure out what you're after?
Hey, have you ever heard of a man by the name of Kusela?
Why would I know? It's not like I'm in charge or anything.
This is your last chance to talk.
Hey, I said I don't know anything. I'm just an average member here. I'm telling the truth. If you're here to find someone, why don't you look through the records yourselves? Who can remember every name and face with so many people coming in and out every day?
The irony. His life became a light for so many, yet to others, it wasn't even worth remembering. Where's the records room? Answer me!
It's right over there. All the files are in there. You can go through them as much as you want. It's not like any of them still matter anyway.
I mean the old records room.
The old records room? You mean, the one that got burned down? Kusela. Ah, yeah, I remember him now. The guy who could hardly walk. Watch your mouth. That's our boss you're talking about. He was definitely faking it. We all let our guard down as soon as we saw him come hobbling in. But in the short time it supposedly took him to take a dump, he'd already gotten away and started a fire in the records room. He couldn't have possibly outrun us if he wasn't a fraud. And after that, Deshret's relics fell into complete disarray.
Stop wasting our time. Every one of us here is perfectly aware of what he had done. Tell me, where is the old records room?
It's just over there. Go see it for yourself if it means that much to you. There's nothing left in there but ashes. No human could ever survive that kind of inferno. Bashar, Tikriti, let's go. We'll leave the others here to guard these guys. Spare them no mercy if they try anything.
So, this was his final destination. How did he do it? Getting past all the guards with a limp and sneaking in here to start a fire? If he was nimble enough to do that, then he must have been able to get out of here after starting the fire, right?
Tia.
I'm sorry. I know it's just wishful thinking. Let's look around. Maybe we can find something that's been left behind.
Is this a cane? It must be the one that Dia's father used.
Kusela.
Thanks for everything, boss.
We're fortunate to somehow find that cane after that fire.
Let's split up and look around some more. What if something else has been left behind?
But what else could survive a fire like that?
Huh? thought so.
Wait! Isn't that the toy sword you played with as a child?
The dragon is no more, for Princess Deyhi has slain it. Its head now hangs above the city gates. Her bravery has brought eternal peace and prosperity to us all. Deyhi, come on. This is the most important line.
You can do it.
But Deyhi, you defeated the dragon. Everyone's waiting for your speech. Still too shy, huh? All right, I'll do it. I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more.
I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more, Dad. What's this?
Don't you remember? You asked Paimon what she would do if she were to wake up tomorrow with loads of money. And Paimon said that she would get boatloads of tasty snacks. You looked super confused at the time, but said it was an adorable thing to say. These opportunities don't come by often. So today, Paimon's gonna treat you to a special crash course on Paimon's life philosophy. Hey, come on! Paimon's not that stingy. Anyway, the point is that you should eat to your heart's content. You'll feel better for sure once you've gotten something in your tummy. Dunyarzad will also be here shortly. She's already heard that we're back.
Aw, thanks, you two. Honestly, this is very unlike me. I just had a lot on my mind on our way back, so I didn't know what to say. My chest was filled with all kinds of intense emotions. They just shook me even more than all the feelings we've shared during our previous adventures. But when everything came to an end, those emotions also vanished without a trace, and I was left feeling more empty than ever before. It was as if I'd lost the thing that was most important to me. Yeah, you're right. To many mercenaries, Mora is the most important thing in the world. But perhaps to us, it's the most worthless thing of all. Idrisi and the others all used to say that they would quit if there was no Mora to be had. But when it came to avenging my father, there was no Mora to be made anywhere. My reality shattered when I found out that the father who always told me hero stories was in fact a bad guy. But look at me now. Am I any different? Despite all my promises about never forgiving him and never trying to understand him, I still went to such lengths to find out the truth, and nearly even shed tears for his sake. We're hypocrites, all of us. Yeah, you're right. It's just a pity that we often only recognize our true feelings after it's already too late.
You're back! Are all of you all right?
Ah, there she is.
Yeah. Many people from the Corps of 30 came over, and I just wrapped up everything with my dad. All I can do now is wait for their verdict. Huh? Deyhi, you're looking quite down again.
Paimon will explain. A lot happened while we were gone.
I'm sorry. I really should have controlled my emotions better. I just...
It's all right, my lady. You were hurt by all of this as well. Truth be told, I'm starting to feel a little guilty watching you cry like this.
But Deyhi, your pain must be even worse. You shouldn't need to comfort me.
Hey, don't worry about me. If anything, this whole thing has finally shown me the difference between illusion and reality. My father probably thought that people could settle into new lives as long as they moved to a new environment. That thought has even crossed my mind a few times. It's like saying, what's wrong with adapting to a new life? However, there was always something deep within my mind that refused to accept it. This impulse brought me great turmoil, and even made me feel ashamed for turning my back on your father's kindness. But now that I consider it again, it all makes sense. The desert sands are a part of who I am, and I will never be able to lead a peaceful existence.
I understand how you feel.
That doesn't mean I won't be making any changes to my life, though. As an example, I'm now thinking about taking on some small odd jobs. It's just like Idrisi said. I also want to catch up to my father and become a character in his play. Even if the ending of the story may be childish and ridiculous, it won't really matter.
Isn't that neat, though? Oh, you'll be a whole new kind of mercenary, one that's not out for Mora. Why don't we go for a change of scenery once we finish eating? What about stopping by the Grand Bazaar again?
Right. You said you wanted to get a rug for your family.
We'll come along too.
I can't thank you enough for taking care of me this entire time.
This rug here is quite something. The craftsmanship is exquisite, and the fabric is also of high quality.
Ah, here you are. Finally, I found you.
Hey! Aren't you that mercenary who bit his tongue? You can still talk? Wait, are you here to take revenge on us?
What are you talking about? Do I look like I could take you all in a fight? I just came here to give you something. I'll be on my way to give myself up to the Corps after this. Once I woke up, I hurried to the Khan al-Ahmar's camp, hoping to alert them to your presence. But when I got there, I found no one except the members who were still too injured to move.
Ah, so you probably got there after us.
Yeah, they told me that they had exacted their revenge, and everyone had turned themselves into the authorities. Even that last camp was not going to last for much longer.
Finish the quest.
I had joined the cause to repay an old favor from Kusela.
Yeah,
everyone's already
start a
turned themselves
quest.
in, I might as well do the same. One of the injured members gave this box to me and told me that it contained some of the old man's last possessions. Everything left in the camp will get confiscated, so I figured I should get this to you before the Corps could get their hands on it.
Thank you.
Good, but
no worries. We are all just living our own truths.
But
there's no need to
I am
judge
sleepy.
anyone for it.
So this box contains everything that Dia's father left behind. Huh. It feels lighter than expected.
Well, back in the day, the first thing he did with any Mora was spend it on things like drinks and meat. But let's see what's inside. What's this? It's just a bunch of junk. Ugh, it kinda stinks.
Perhaps it's just been left unopened for too long.
A handwritten copy of a storybook. The paper's already yellowed, and it looks like it's about to fall apart. It was against the academia's rules to possess books for personal use. If he was going to break that rule, he could have at least copied something useful.
That probably means this was really important to him.
And here are a few bags of children's snacks. The packaging's completely deteriorated. Maybe that's where the smell was coming from.
Did he get those for you?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Even when I was a child, I was never a fan of these kinds of snacks. He'd always say that he got them for me, but in the end, he always ate more than I ever did. Who even leaves snacks in a box like this anyway? Isn't that just common sense? Forget it. Let me see what else is in here. A razor, some buttons, some round iron tiles, a wooden toy puppet, a wool scarf, which from the looks of it probably belonged to a woman, and a hair clip? I'm sorry, my lady. 2 empty liquor bottles.
Huh?
Oh, you're... All right, I got it out. It seems to be a piece of paper with some writing on it. The bottom part's all damaged from moisture, though. Let's hope the writing didn't... I was suddenly see to Deyhi. It's all right.
My condition's becoming... If you're reading this letter, that you were adorable, but once you...
Can you...
Anyway, back to the point. The reason being that...
Wait, what?
Surely,
really felt like the hope, but as fate would have it, I went out into the desert for a drink one day. You were just lying there, small and helpless, but your cries were so loud they made my head hurt. I told Idrisi and the others that I had slipped up with a woman while out and about. I'm sorry that I was their mostess. Anyway, you possess the kind of freedom and kindness that we could only dream of. As far as how you should live your life, that'll be up to you to decide.
That's... In the end, he was, I suppose, or...
He was a good father.
Yeah.
Do you already...
I do. I just have one wish. That there once existed and that only under his...
If you end up finding...
Sure, I appreciate it.
I'll help too.
Thank you. All of my life is certainly... Because no matter where I've gone, I've always been surrounded... Dobra, jutro dokończymy. Dobra, więc... Nie Battle Pass, mapa. Wiesz, kawałek... Dobra, zróbmy kawałek historii.
Smell of treasure. Strange.
dobra, jednak nie. No jednak poczekam na doładowanie tego i ten. Więc dobra. Więc to było tyle. Żegnam się z wami. Z tej strony był Demon Live. Do zobaczenia w następnych streamach z Genshina. Na razie. Cześć.